Hi guys, so I managed to get a couple of days off work to come back and finish off my crawl-in shelter. So a few things to do this morning. So it's about lunchtime on Wednesday, and the idea is to spend Thursday and Friday in here, just finish off the shelter and hopefully get a night sleeping in it. So it's nice weather just now. It's cold, but it's dry for a change, and it has been quite sunny today, so hopefully it'll stay like that for the next couple of days and be able to get lots of work done. So I'm going to walk in there now and get started. Okay, so here we are back at the shelter, and everything's pretty much exactly as I left it. Shelter's looking good, still as waterproof as ever, into my new crawl-in shelter that I started building the last time is still just exactly as I left it as well. So it's really quite an awesome spot that I've found here. You know, it's like it's quite close to where I live, but it's like really secluded. Hardly anybody actually knows. There's only a handful of people actually know that this shelter's even here. And it's just such a beautiful spot. When it rains hard, I've got water supply just right at the back of my shelter here. It's kind of dry at the moment because it hasn't actually been raining the last couple of days, miraculously. And then I've also got this lovely spot behind my shelter. Oh, it's beautiful and flat, and that's where I set up my tarp when I want to just sleep under the tarp rather than the shelter, which I'll probably do for the next couple of nights anyway, because I want to really concentrate and spend most of my time working on the crawl-in shelter anyway. So I'm going to pretty much just keep doing that and just sleep in the tarp because it's a lot easier. Forecast is for it to be quite cold, I think, tonight. I did see -2 mentioned in one of the reports, so that should be quite interesting. But I'm going to be in my down sleeping bag anyway, so I'll be toasty as ever. So yeah, it's just an awesome spot, and obviously, I've got tons of woodland around here. There's lots of dead standing pine in the wood behind me here, and obviously I'm right underneath this oak tree with all these lovely leaves. And people often ask me, when I tell them about this, they sort of say to me, well, you're not scared somebody comes along and wrecks it or sets fire to everything, but it's just such a secluded spot, It's nobody ever comes, hardly ever actually see anybody walking past here when I'm here, so it's relatively safe, and of course it's well sheltered from the wind as well, as long as it stays in the sort of southwesterly there. It comes out the west, it can rip right through here, but it's generally sort of quite good. However, having said all that, I don't know how long it's going to stay like that, because these western red cedars that you see behind me now, there's a big stand of those there, and well, it is a commercial forest after all, and they are going to come down and take those away at some point. I have been told that they are coming down, so once they're gone, there's no shelter at all here. No shelter from the wind, that is, and it'll be completely different, I think. Probably not really be that usable. Maybe have to go and find somewhere else when that happens, but I'll just keep working here until such time as I need to move on, find somewhere else. There are plenty of spots around, so just have to maybe travel slightly further, but this is literally 10 minutes from my house in the car, so, and I can park my car here without worrying about it getting vandalised or anything overnight. It's going to be sitting down there for the next 3 nights. It'll be fine. So I thought the sun did try and come back out a minute ago, but it's overcast again now, so it's quite nice. At least it's dry. So I'm going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is gather some wood. Thankfully the nights are, the days are a bit longer now. Got a couple of extra, well, maybe an extra, it's sort of 5:30 or so it gets dark, I think. So I'm going to get some wood together, maybe get a fire going and get a cup of tea, and then I'm going to get started with this. First thing I'm going to try and do actually is see if I can actually crawl into it, because I've got a funny feeling it is actually too small, but I'm not too sure, so I think the only way I'm going to know for sure is to actually try crawling into it, so I'll give that a go in a minute. Right, better get moving. let's see if I can get my fat carcass in here. What do you reckon? So the idea is to be able to crawl in backwards without really disturbing stuff, obviously, and ending up in a position where you can actually sleep comfortably. Well, I'm surprised I got this far. Maybe I'm not as fat as I thought. Oh, I think I'm stuck. Nah, that's too tight. I can't move at all in here. No, that's too small. I need to make it slightly bigger. So, guess what the first thing I'm going to do in the morning? I might try and source some new supports for the front tonight. To be honest, I was never that happy with these ones because they're not actually in the ground at all. Strong as anything, and a beautiful interconnection I've got there, but no, I'm going to get something slightly bigger. I'm going to raise it up a bit. It's not the end of the world though, because it's quite a good stage to obviously catch something like that. You make a few changes, and obviously I'm going to need to get some longer pole side wall pieces, but I can always just move everything up, so it really isn't the end of the world. Yeah, I'm not bothered. I was kind of suspicious about that anyway, so yeah, I'm going to try and source something better. I'll maybe do that just now actually. My water's not boiled yet, so I've got a few minutes. And then I'll let you see what I've done. Okay, so Thursday morning now. Didn't get much done last night, but I've done it this morning and I've actually managed to source a couple of really nice bits of wood, just bits of red cedar from the back there, so I've sort of shaped them up, and as you see I've left 3 ends on there, and the idea behind that is that it allows you to do this interlock thing that I like to do. Basically one's resting on the other, and it makes for a really strong support. So I made these a bit longer obviously than the ones that are there, and I've rounded the tops as well quite a bit, just so that, I mean, just when I'm going to try and knock these in a bit, I've sharpened the ends, and it just means when I hit them with the back of the axe actually, they're not going to just all splay out. So it's quite a nice wee tip if you are ever making any pegs or anything, is to do that, and it does help, honestly, it's worth the effort. So I'm going to stick these into the ground now, then raise the ridge pole up and start rebuilding the walls. Okay guys, so I finished off the shelter with the new support at the front. I've sort of knocked it in a bit further, and I've finished off doing the walls, so I'm just going to try it for size again and just see if it's big enough now. I think it is. I think it may actually be too big now, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway, so here we go. Well, I'm in. Almost. That's actually quite a nice fit. I don't feel like there's masses of extra air around me that needs heating up. This isn't bad. It's actually about right. I'm quite happy with that. I can even move around a bit, actually, from the side point. I'm normally a stomach sleeper anyway, so that's fine. That's actually, it feels perfect size wise. Mike Douglas refers to these things as a high-tech sleeping bag, which is kind of interesting. The idea being, of course, that there's just enough room for you and your body heat can warm up all the air around you and keep you warm all night. I'll show you what I've done at the sides. So, finished off both walls. Had a lot of really good willow and alder and some hazel as well, so I just made use of it. To be honest, the stuff that's on the ground in here is all either completely rotten or it's just not straight. You would think there'd be loads of proper debris lying around in here, but it's quite damp, so I think if anything goes on to the ground at all, it just ends up like going rotten almost straight away, so it's just useless. There's no strength in it at all. There's a few bits and pieces I picked up off the ground that's on that, but mostly it's all like really fresh cut stuff, so the beauty of that, of course, is it's super strong, so this should last a while. My only real concern now is the lack of leaves, because even just walking around, back and forward around here, I've kind of trampled a lot of them quite badly, so I'm hoping to still have enough to at least give it a shot. So anyway, that's the next task, is to start raking up some leaves. I did actually bring the garden rake with me just to make that a bit easier, or speedier at least. So that's the next job. So I better get cracking. Okay, so I've got quite a lot of leaves on, as you can see. Not fully finished yet, so I've probably got another, well, probably about the same again actually, to be honest, and then maybe I'll have a fighting chance of it being properly insulated. I just wanted to switch back on just now because light's starting to go now. It's 4:30 and it's getting a bit dark, so I just wanted to show you another thing that I'd forgotten about was what I've done at the front here. I've tried to sort of lower the front entrance to form a bit of a heat trap, like a cold air trap really, so that the idea is, I haven't quite managed it to get it as low as I'd like, because the idea is that your raised bed inside should actually be higher than the top of your entrance, so that the cold air doesn't, or the hot air doesn't get out really. But that's the idea. I'll give you a wee bit of a closer view of that. So kind of all I've done is actually just put some sticks across between the actual walls, and they've actually tied them at the side here just to stop them moving really, and then just fed some more bits of wood on top of that just to stop. I mean, obviously the heat's going to get through there a little bit, but not as much as it would be if it was just wide open. So I probably could have actually put it a bit lower than that, but I might try and lower it later, don't know. Anyway, so this idea, I'm just going to keep going, and to be honest, if I can get enough leaves on here, I might actually try sleeping in it tonight, and then I can maybe head off home tomorrow because I've got a few things I need to get done. So see how we get on. I'll update you probably in the morning now actually, but I'm keep piling the leaves on until I run out basically, and then take it from there.
Morning guys, it's 7 o'clock on Friday morning. Sleep. So I never got as much leaves raked as I had sort of hoped. I actually just ran out of energy, to be honest, so I just had my dinner and then plate and just crashed out. So I've still got lots to do, but we'll get up now. I should be able to get it ready and try and sleep in the colony shelter tonight, so that's the plan. So I'm going up, I'm going to have some breakfast and then get started. Man, those J's make some noise. Okay, let's get a fire going.
Okay guys, so I had a bit of a brainwave this morning. I was thinking about this, the cold air trap that you're supposed to have at the front of the crawling shelter. And I thought, well, I can't really make this any much lower unless I can get my body in further down. So I thought, what I'm going to do is actually dig out a bit of a hollow in the ground just at the entrance here. And that way it gives me a bit more room to actually get in the door. Underneath the so I can actually bring this down and still have room to actually get in there. That's the idea anyway, so I'm going to try and sort of just dig out some of this and try and make it so that I can get this down a bit further and still get in. Well, there's not a lot of room to play with, but I'll see what happens. I'll give it a shot. And all I have to dig with is my latrine spade, so this could take a while. Okay guys, well I've finished digging that out. It took flipping forever with that small spade, but as you can see I've now got a lovely low bit in which to wiggle my body into the shelter. So I've even put a nice drainage, because it's going to fill with water, so I better put a drainage channel in there just to let water out, most of it anyway. So that means what I had to do as well, as I realised straight away, was I needed to extend it out onto the sort of porch. I'd left that the ridge pole sticking out quite a bit anyway, because I kind of thought I might end up doing something like this. So I've had to extend it right out just to be able to get enough room to actually dig out, because where it was before there's not really any room to dig out enough to get wiggle my body through. So I hope you can see that. So what I need to do, so it's quite good because it means that I can, basically the next step is to try and work out just how low I can get a cross member across these front ones. They're stuck in the ground quite solid, so they're good. Basically I'm just going to do a wee bit of a limbo thing and just work out just how low I can get that cross member, and the idea being obviously that it has to be below the height of the bed. You probably can't see in there to where the height of the bed actually is, but the idea is that I need to have the bottom of the opening in the doorway has got to be lower than the height of the bed, so that you get a heat trap, or a cold air trap to give it its proper title. So that's the idea anyway. So the next stage is to just do a wee bit of a limbo dance, just put a cross member across there and just make sure I can get under it, and just keep lowering it until I get to the point where I just can't get under it any longer, and then that's where I'll set it, and then I'll switch back on after that and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let's give it a shot. Right, well that's not coming down because I'm touching that now. I don't think I could get in there if it was any lower, but I've managed it. Yeah, I'm in. Well, not fully, but enough to prove the point. So, I think that's as far as it's going to go down. Just, I mean, in theory, I could actually dig this deeper and then get it even lower. I don't know if it's worth trying. I might. Let me think about that one. Let's see. I mean, it is lower than the bed, but we're talking only just really. So maybe I will get the spade out again and down a bit more. Hi guys, so I finished building up the front piece here, and I've actually put the bottom bits, I put them in behind so I could put them, the other bits up on top between the two side supports. So I've lashed that one at the bottom, and that's pretty much ideal. It's solid as anything, so not going to move. The other thing I've done is, this is actually the enhancement I was mentioning earlier. So give you a closer look at this. This is a wee trick that Mike Douglas mentions quite a lot. And the idea is to just have a space on the top where you can stick some extra insulation. He actually sort of recommends trying to do this all the way along, but I'm not sure how that would work, because I don't know how on earth he would move inside with, he calls it a loft. So the idea with that is that it gives you this wee cavity that you can actually stick even more leaves in to improve this insulation. So got a couple of wee reds here. I just want to make sure that nothing falls through, so I'm just going to put a wee pair of those in place. Not that it would really matter, but it just means that I can stuff some stuff in the leaves in there, and they're going to stay put in place. That's the idea basically. There we go, that's pretty cool, eh? So it's me all ready to kind of finish off getting the leaves all raked up and on top. I'm hoping that I've got enough left lying around to complete the job, but we'll soon find out. Just going to keep raking and get as much as I can, and then hopefully I'll be ready to try and sleep in it tonight. Not sure I haven't looked at the forecast yet, but I think yesterday it was talking about it being -1 tonight, so that should be interesting. So we'll get cracking with the rake and get all these other leaves raked up and in place. Okay, well I've used up all the leaves. I've been raking it like a complete maniac. This whole bit of gully sort of area that's beside my shelter, it actually was quite thick with the leaves in there. I think they've kind of been blown in there, so here's the finished result. It's not looking too bad actually. There's a reasonable thickness of leaves on there, and a lot of them are fairly compact as well, so it's not like they're going to settle very much, I don't think. So quite a bit of insulation, I think. We'll soon find out, I suppose, when I try it out later. So here's the entrance. Looks very inviting, doesn't it? So I'll be trying to sleep in there tonight, so I'll see how I get on. It's, as I said, it's going to be -1 tonight, so hopefully I'll survive. We'll see what happens.
Well guys, a successful night in my shelter. Only problem is I only got about 2 hours sleep at the most because I was freezing and I couldn't get comfortable. When I first got in I was really nice and warm and it felt great, and then I just couldn't get comfortable because normally I move around quite a lot when I'm sleeping. I swap from my stomach to my side all the time, and I couldn't actually move onto my side. I thought I could earlier, but when I actually tried it, it was actually impossible, just not enough room to move. So I was stuck on my front all night and I just couldn't get comfortable. And then I did fall asleep and then woke up absolutely perishing. So I've managed to stay in the shelter though, so obviously it has worked to some extent in keeping me warm. So my body the body heat seems to have heated the air up a bit, but I think one of the main problems is this whole bit at the front here is far too open. There's just far too much airspace in here to heat up. I need to so I'll put a head torch on, maybe you can actually see what I'm really looking at. So all the gaps in that front piece there, I really need to thatch that with some cedar, I think, and just try and that loft bit that I built yesterday, I think really I should try and just get that as low as possible, and maybe even bring this front piece here down a bit and just, you know, try and eliminate as much airspace as possible. Of course the other problem is I don't think I really had enough leaves on the top either to properly insulate things, but still, hey ho, not too bad. At least I survived, and if it came to it in a survival situation, at least I know how to build one of these guys now, and hopefully stay alive, which is what it's all about really at the end of the day. So I'm going to try and get out of here now, so there could be some funny camera angles. Ouch. Oh. I just got poked in the eye with a stick. Oh. God, no. Oh man, that's not easy when you've completely stiffened up all night. Oh. I'm like an old man. Everybody think I was 54. Oh, what? Morning. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock, so basically I need to try and get home quite early this morning, so I'm pretty much just going to pack up and go. So I'll give you another wee guided tour of the shelter just before I leave. Okay, I better get cracking. So all packed up and ready to go. As I said, there's a few things that aren't quite perfect about the shelter. The big airspace in the front there is probably a big draw, and the fact that the whole front end's not really properly sealed. Apart from that, I think just the lack of leaves, because, you know, ultimately I would have liked to have a big pile of leaves at the front there that I could sort of pull in with me and pretty much almost seal off the door with a big pile of leaves. And if you watch some of the videos online, these guys, they do put like tons of leaves on. Like, you think that's a lot, but it's not. But you know, I've just run out, so not much I can do about that. I don't want that. There's a beech tree up there I could go and get leaves, but it's just going to be a pain to move it around. It's probably not that much anyway, so it's probably not worth it. I guess I'll just have to wait until next autumn. But as it is, the shelter's probably fine for most of the year, you know. Once we get, certainly for like double figures centigrade, it'd be fine, I reckon. So I'll maybe try it out again when it gets a bit warmer.
Yeah, so heading home now. See you later.